So the New Yorker recently ran a piece on Sam Altman. Apparently, a very well-researched piece. It's gotten a lot of people talking, highly critical. Basically, it accuses him of being a pathological liar, and that he, puts his own interest and profit and company ahead of safety and everything. And I gotta say, there's no surprise to me here at all. One of the things that's come out through this that I'm really happy about is that we're getting some additional information about the context of how the leaders of the AI development organizations, Anthropic, OpenAI, have not really been entirely forthcoming about their backgrounds and agendas. They make it very clear, and I've always known this. Sam Altman knows absolutely nothing about the technology. He's nothing. He knows very little. He's a finance guy. He's an investment capital guy. He talks to venture capitalists. He's a thought leader, whatever. Had a background at Y Combinator. But no, he doesn't understand AI at all. He came from a background of seeing AI in a sort of sci-fi sense. What is this thing AI? We might have it someday, and what will it do for humanity? And I'm hoping more people understand that he didn't understand the tech. He just wanted to go all in on AI, and he was in the right place at the right time and had access to funding. But now you're starting to see a little bit about why he talks the way he does in ways that don't even really make sense, right? Like the whole AGI, ASI, artificial superintelligence, artificial general intelligence. That's always been really hard for me to confront and take on because it's a complete error in every way. It's not like a when will we get AGI. AGI is not really defined. It's a fuzzy term. It means like a human, or I don't even really know what it means. Artificial general intelligence exceeds a human at all things. But would it really even have to? Like, would it have to exceed a human at the ability to smell to do most things, right? But now we're seeing where this is coming from. This constant doom rhetoric, right? What if it gains sentience and it gains a personality and wants to kill us? Or what if it just wants our resources? What if it gets super smart and recursive self-improvement and wants our resources? Maybe you'll see us as getting in the way. Yeah, so what's really coming out is that that's kind of the dream world that Altman and others who really aren't technically bound, sort of futurist thinkers. And that goes back to him like saying that he thinks he's Oppenheimer, right? This AI tech, I mean, it's great, it's revolutionary, it's become very economically vital, but it's not a weapon of mass destruction or anything. Large language models are amazing. They can do all kinds of things. They have bad purposes. They can be used for fraud or writing malicious code. But they're not nuclear weapons either. They're not weapons of mass destruction. They're not doomsday devices. See, the constant reframing of this as, well, this could be bad for humanity. Doomsday. It might recursively self-improve, and then it'll stop being just a feed-forward function. It'll become like an ongoing mind with desires, and then it will want our resources. Makes no sense at all to anybody who's got a background in the sector or understands the tech at all and has done any work with training it. They would tell you that so much human intervention is needed to get these things to work right, and they're so clunky and janky, and they don't work well in all circumstances, and they fail badly. And that's why you never really hear from developers or engineers saying they think it's going to take over the world or become hyper intelligent. Even some of the stuff he said about it will cure cancer or make us all rich. That's what you call techno-utopianism. So that's really what Altman's always been, is he's been a sci-fi fan who's a big dreamer and a big thinker, so to speak. Likes to think of himself as commanding the technology that's pivotal to humankind, very grandiose, right? Might kill us all, might take all our jobs, might bring us immortality. And initially he was posting, that who was that idiot? What's his name? Yudkowsky or something? And his whole thing with like misaligned AI and the AI problem. See, Altman's also from the whole Silicon Valley weird-ass cult like that. So that's kind of where he gets some of that, is that all pre-existed. That's actually long before OpenAI or whatever. That whole misalignment nonsense, the whole friendly AI, the techno-singularity. It's finally coming out, and now we're seeing why these undertones have been there. No, serious research-minded people, engineers, coders, people who run the RLHF pipeline, people who test the models, people who actually deploy them. They don't talk anything like these leaders, these corporate leaders, with their, oh, well, it's going to make us all rich if it doesn't kill us all. It's a form of software. It's an excellent form of software. It does things that other previous products couldn't. Another thing is, even with this article being told that, like, he's in command of the world's most dangerous company. Economically and socially, OpenAI has become very important. Yes, but no, they don't have like super doomsday weapons. No, they're not going to take over the world. You see, the category error here really is that while something like a large language model or a chatbot might seem very intelligent, it's actually an illusion, and the illusion breaks the moment you get some sort of a weird edge case where it can't deal with it. Or when you're trying to train it and fine-tune it. Those things are idiots. But the illusion is that it's something like a mind, right? What it really is it's a function. You ask it what is the text that should come for this response, and it gives it to you. It has no memory, has no feelings, has no perception, has no ongoing thought, doesn't evolve in its way of looking. No, nothing like that. But it's designed to seem that way. Doesn't have any agency. And agents don't either. They just kind of seem like they do because they're self-prompted through a loop. But none of that makes any sense. In the artificial general intelligence, artificial superintelligence, why doesn't that make any sense? Well, AGI is poorly defined. I mean, large language models would meet the old definition as just a general purpose tool, but now that's not working. So now, later it was can do most human-like tasks, but now it exceeds a human in all domains. It's moving goalpost. The problem is it really can't unless you modify it significantly, because a text model can't imagine it can't imagine what a place would smell like, and then think of what things look like, and come up with new scenarios or novel problem-solving ways. No, nothing like that. Can't do anything like that. And you can't get there through machine learning either, because it's a whole cognitive architecture that you don't have in machine learning. So, if you thought AGI would be human capabilities in all domains, you would have to come up with some way of like rapidly transitioning between different types of thought on the fly. Also, it would have to have an experiential memory, which is very, very difficult. And it creates problems with storage to be able to remember everything the way a person does. And we also don't have a way of learning on the fly the way a person does. They call that, there's something called the lifelong learning problem in machine learning. But I don't think Altman is even aware of these. So for those reasons, we're not on the brink of artificial general intelligence. We couldn't be, because we'd have to develop some sort of it wouldn't be an overnight thing. You wouldn't scale there. It would be like, oh my God, we were building a better language model. It turned into AGI. Didn't even see that. There's no race to AGI. It's not like that. It's more like a race to a definition and a race to an architecture that would meet it. But none of this is nearly as magic or mystical or metaphysical or fantastic as you might think. It's not. It's just software. And we're finally starting to see that. Thank God. Now, I don't hate Altman or anything. I think he's obviously good at raising money. But like I said, I don't hate him or anything. But I think this is starting to make some things public that I knew eventually would become public and that should become public. And that is the fact that a lot of this mysticism, a lot of this AI doom was always there kind of on purpose, as part of Altman's message, as part of sort of the delusions of grandeur Silicon Valley billionaire guy. Yeah, that's really where it's coming from. And as I said, the thing that I'm glad they're saying the most is that he knows absolutely nothing about this tech. He doesn't. He doesn't. And that's what makes it so hard because somebody like myself, I do, but people don't listen to me because I'm not a billionaire and I'm not the CEO of the company. But he's not an engineer. He's not a data scientist. Nothing like that. He has a very very shallow CS computer science background, unfortunately. But yeah, that should surprise anybody. It doesn't surprise me.